But when it comes to transparency, everybody knows very difficult to find out information. I mean, even as physicians, think about if you need to go find a new physician, you need to find a specialist. You were just diagnosed with something, you need to go find somebody to help you. How do you do it now? You ask colleagues, right? You find out, hey, so who do you recommend? Who have you heard is good? Is that based on anything? We have something in Washington, D.C. Washingtonian Magazine has an annual report of the best doctors in the area. And when my wife and I moved there, we thought, hey, we should check this out. We need to get doctors. We should check out who are the best doctors. Came to find out, Washingtonian, when you look at the fine print on how they come up with these best doctors, the way they do it is they pass around a survey and ask doctors, if you had this condition, who would you go see? You know, if you had a child, what pediatrician would you go see? And the guy or the gal who gets the most votes is the top doctor in that particular field. So it's a popularity contest. Doesn't give you much information on the quality. Maybe he's a great guy. Maybe she's a terrific, community leader. Don't know if she's a good provider. But if you want to find out information on anything else, be it a car, be it, a service, I mean, you can think of thousands of products. You can literally find out anything you want. Take this one, for example. You could probably find out where darn near every part of this vehicle was made and manufactured. You could find out what plant put it together. You could find out quality reviews from folks who have owned it. Edmunds probably has a lot of information on it. You could find out the price of it. In fact, if you're interested, I know times are tough, but if you're interested, and if you're really interested, eBay number is right here. I'll pause for a second so you can jot this down. But think about it. I mean, if you wanted to find out anything about this car, anything about an airline, anything about, you name it. You can go on Amazon. You can go on, there are thousands of resources available. And you could have cost and quality information literally within seconds. You wanted to find out how much this hammer costs at the Pentagon. We know that's $750, right? But if you wanted to find out the cost and quality of the team of surgeons that was going to operate on your knee, where would you go for that information? This is something that Jeb Bush actually set up in 2005, I believe. And what it will provide is to actually set up two sites. This is one that provides cost and quality information for inpatient hospitals, actually outpatients as well, I think it's 100 different procedures. This site actually, I think, gives you a lot of information as a consumer. I mean, take this example here. I pulled up these 5 facilities. You could actually search every facility. In fact, the list that came up if you were just looking for all providers was more than 200. So I just took a snapshot of some different ones. And if you look at this information just as a consumer, all right, this is not going to tell you where to go, but it's going to give you some information to start your decision making. So if you're in this person's position, and obviously this isn't particularly an elective surgery, but you can look at hip replacement, you can look at knee replacement. There are a number of other procedures. But just look here. In the state, this rather painful procedure was done 7,800 times. And the average charge, and I know there are lots of issues with charge versus price versus reimbursement, but this is at least risk adjusted and for both average length of stay and average charge. So we're comparing apples to apples. But for these 5, look at Palmetto. Out of 7,807 procedures, they did it less than once a week. And they did it for 50 grand more than the average charge. Going to be in the hospital longer. These are the folks that as you're going in for the surgery, they're expressing their excitement because they haven't done one of these in a while, which is not what you want to hear, right? What you want to hear is, go down to the flagship hospital at the University of Florida. They do this twice a day. They probably have very good processes. They're probably very good at it. They have a lot of experience at it, obviously. They get you out on time, at least the average, and the cost is much lower. But again, this is what consumers actually have access to now. My question would be, why am I going to be in the hospital for a week longer than the average if I go to Cedars. And according to the Institute of Medicine, for every day that you're in a hospital, you average one medication error or one medical error. So you're actually putting folks in danger by having them stay in a hospital, according to the Institute of Medicine, for a week longer. And now you can also look up a lot of other things, a lot of quality indicators. Now again, I'm not arguing that the way that the risk adjustment was done was proper. In fact, I don't know how it was done. My point is that consumers have access to this kind of information. So they will come to you as a primary care physician and say, why is citrus higher than expected mortality? What's going on over there? You know, that's the hospital that's right across the street. If I see this information, I might go to Baptist, which is, 30 miles away. It gives consumers at least some information to start the process. So I only show you Florida. There are actually 35 states that have this kind of information now. HHS has Hospital Compare. In the new legislation, they have Physician Compare. Physician Compare, which may scare the bejesus out of you, but this kind of stuff is coming. California has hospital quality indicators. Pennsylvania has hospital-acquired infection rates posted publicly. So this kind of transparency is really the wave of the future, and that's just states. You think of Angie's List, where consumers can go on and post reviews about their provider. Or actually, I know Aetna does this as well, or is it WellPoint? One of them has, no, it's WellPoint. They have a partnership with Zagat. Zagat does the restaurant reviews. They have a partnership to do Zagat for physicians. Is anybody aware of that? Or maybe you've been rated. It's in certain markets. I think it's in Cincinnati. It's in just a few markets at this point. But the trend is for more information, more details about the quality of care that you provide and the cost of that care.